Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today we're going to be working on a Subaru Forester. The damage is to the rear quarter panel. Let me show you guys how's the damage, and then we'll get it up on the frame machine and we'll get started on it. Alright, so here it is. Looks like the insurance already cut it off. The damage looks very light. This thing will have to be straightened out. Maybe a couple other little things, but it looks like a very light damage. Even like, pretty sure this gap was all good, but I guess we'll have to find out once we get it up on the frame machine. Alright guys, so without wasting any time, I went ahead and straightened this side out and this side, and over here I'm probably just gonna go ahead and cut the wheel well like this, and underneath I'm gonna overlap the new wheel well. That way this arc right here is all original, and over here it'll be welded, and I'll put some seam sealer and it'll be closed up and it'll look very nice. So now let's move on to the new quarter panel and start drilling it out, and then we're gonna test fit it once it's drilled out. Alright guys, so the quarter panel is finally drilled out. Now before I start test fitting it, I do want to get all these inner panels out of there. That way when I'm welding or whatever, it doesn't burn through. And also I will have to cut this wheel well somewhere like that. And the new one will just overlap, and I'll have a bunch of holes so I can weld the whole wheel well all the way through. As of right now, let's go ahead and start moving this stuff out, all this out of the trunk, and I'm going to remove these panels, and then we're going to start test fitting the new part. Alright guys, so I removed all the panels. Now we are clear. Now I'm probably going to proceed with cutting the wheel well and then moving on from there. All right, so the quarter panel is test fitted. Here's the gap. This gap looks really good, and here's the front door gap. Looks really good as well. Now let's see and try to close the trunk. It's not working. Let's try it a different way. Okay, so here's the gap here. Once again, this is overlapping here. I'll have to make a nice cut right here and weld a plate underneath. That way this overlap is not there. And also same with this, and same with the bottom over there. So from what I see, so far these gaps look really good. Over here, this tail light housing, I'll have to bring it out a little bit, and then of course I'll have to test fit the tail light before I start welding. But as of right now, I'm gonna take off the quarter panel and I'll start prepping it. I'm gonna clean off all the silicone area or whatever seam sealer area. That way I can be welding without any issues. And also here is the wheel well. I was talking about this section right here, guys. I do like it when it's all original. It will not need any body work here, so that's a big plus for the customer. And also here there's a rubber seal that goes like that. But over here I will drill a few holes, like every probably 2 inches, and I'll weld this whole seam underneath, and then I'm gonna put some seam sealer on it, and the fender liner will close everything up and it'll look perfect. Alrighty guys, so I got these plates ready. I went ahead and drilled a couple holes right here. That way I can weld them right now and this thing will not be moving anywhere. And also up here I did the same thing, drilled 2 holes, and here the same as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and weld these holes up, take these wise grips off, and try to test fit the quarter panel, and if everything lines up, I'm good to start welding. Alright guys, so I got the quarter panel bolted down on some self-tappers. Everything looks really good. Everything aligns perfectly. All these seams right here are perfect. I'll just have to weld them on there. Same here and on the bottom. But here's the gap on this side. It just, I mean, it looks perfect. Here is the trunk gap. It looks perfect as well. And then the tail light gap, that looks perfect. So now I'm good to start welding the quarter panel, since everything lines up and the quarter panel is prepped. And this is what it looks like underneath. These holes, I'm just gonna weld all of them in, and then it'll be all seam sealed underneath, and it'll look nice and perfect. Alrighty guys, the quarter panel is finally welded. Everything looks perfect. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grind everything off and seam seal it where it has to be seam sealed. Also, I'll be seam sealing it inside over here, and then we'll keep moving. I do have to take these self tappers out. I had them in there so they were holding the quarter panel in place. Alrighty guys, so I went ahead and put seam sealer everywhere. It kind of looks messy, but once the customer sands it down and paints it, it's gonna look a lot better. And here is under the quarter panel. This is what it looks like. I put seam sealer and I put undercoating there, and it all just looks perfect. So now I am gonna wait for it to dry up. I'll give it about 20-30 minutes, and then I'm gonna start assembling everything back on the car. Alrighty guys, everything is finally dried up. The seam sealer is dry. Now I can go ahead and install the fender liner in the rear and start installing all these little pieces and the brackets, tail light, the bumper, and then we'll get this thing off the frame machine. Alright guys, so as you guys know that I like to show the final gaps once the car is completely off, and here I am. Here is the front gap. This door opens and closes perfect, and then here is the rear gap. This gap looks absolutely perfect, and then here's the trunk gap, and here is this trunk gap. Looks perfect. Alright guys, so the job took me about 15 hours total. This car came out really good. All the gaps just turned out spot on. So that is going to be it for today's video guys. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Also like my videos and share them with your friends and help me build my channel up. Also guys, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Rebuild with Nick. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.